to provide the opportunities that our scholars need to succeed. Any little bit helps.
That is great. I hear you all talking about that opportunity gap and closing that, and I know you all have done a phenomenal job of closing that opportunity gap, and that's why today on Giving Tuesday, it is imperative, Milwaukee, it is imperative, Truth Nation, that we continue to give the gift of education with Milwaukee College Prep today on Giving Tuesday. Now, speaking of that, how can people donate and get involved?
Man, go to the website, visit mkeprep.com/Giving Tuesday to donate. Beyond that, there's opportunities to volunteer. There's opportunities to get involved with what we do at the school. And so it doesn't always have to be gifts of treasures. It could be gifts of time and talent as well. So visit the website, figure out a way to get involved there.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. Al Keith, CEO at Milwaukee College Prep, college bound, character strong.
Awesome. Thank you.
Again, Truth Nation, today is Giving Tuesday, and I implore you to give back to a local school like Milwaukee College Prep by visiting mkeprep.com/Giving Tuesday to donate. Yes, mkeprep.com/Giving Tuesday to make a donation for a great cause.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
Get out my studio. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I was just hollering at somebody because sometimes the browser in here doesn't work. And I clicked all the, what do you call these? I clicked all of the ones that are hidden in the bookmark to open up, and they didn't open up. So I clicked it multiple times. So then a certain person who shall remain nameless, DJ Brother Z, came in. And as soon as I clicked it, it opens up. And then, what was your answer? You said that's because. You said what?
You didn't set it to Wumbo.
I didn't set it to Wumbo?
Wumbo.
Wumbo.
W-U-M-B-O.
W-U.
I Wumbo, you Wumbo.
I Wumbo, you Wumbo.
Wumbo.
I be, you be, she be, we be. Is that like Ebonics or is that SpongeBobish?
Literally the script from SpongeBob.
That's like SpongeBobish, like SpongeBob SquarePants. I thought it was Ebonics. That's how you count, like, you know, or the Ebonic vowels. I be, you be, we be, she be. But anyway, I digress. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1041. or 1017 is the number. Somebody said something today that kind of ticked me off. I think this is going to be a week of pop off Monday, pop off Tuesday, pop off Wednesday, pop off Thursday, pop off Friday. So I'm just saying. So I got to say something. It's going to upset some people. Some people are going to get mad. Half of you will say, that's great. And the other half will say, that's blasphemous. It's terrible. But as if I'm going to run from something and not say it anyway. Couple things we have to talk about, right? So I'm just telling Jason right now, you can title this one, it's about one word, tradition. Okay? All right. So, yes, I'm going to make some admissions. I'm going to make some statements. Some people are going to get mad. Some people are going to get upset. Teammates are going to get mad. Friends are going to get mad. Enemies are going to get mad. Everybody going to get mad. But it is what it is. All I'm saying is if you want me to respect what you believe and you think, then I need you to, well, I really don't need you to respect what I think or don't think. But you should consider it because otherwise you're going to get mad because I'm not. Yes. Let's go with some facts first. Married people live longer than unmarried people. That's just a fact. Married people live longer than unmarried people with a gap of 2.5 to 7.5 years. You got that? 2.5 to 7.5 years. At age 65, a married man's life expectancy is 2.2 years longer than an unmarried man's. Healthy behaviors, right? How you act. Married people are more likely to do what? Eat well, and less likely to smoke and drink excessively. Notice it didn't say don't drink or don't smoke, but it's when you do it excessively. That's simple. What about underlying conditions? What about when you get sick? What about when you have cancer or diabetes or high blood pressure or all those things, right? Even if you have them, you live longer when you're married. So I had somebody today that was pontificating about his wife. Just like I have people pontificate about their children. And so they said to me, oh, well, you just have a thing about children. Somebody calling somebody their child. If you did not give birth, or if you did not have a hand in making that child, it's insulting unless you adopted the kid to call a person your daughter or your son or your child. I believe that denigrates people who have gone through it. Just like married. Oh, that's my wife. That is not your wife. If you are not married, either civilly at the courthouse or in a church signed by a minister, you ain't married. You're living together, you're a partner, you're hanging out, you're doing whatever. And I can respect that. I really do. But don't try to equate it to something called marriage. Because marriage was created in a space that does not include like living together or a partnership or a civil union. It's marriage. And it's different. And so the thing is, if that's what you want to do, be a partner, be a partner. Go be the best partner you can be. But don't equate it to marriage. If you want to live with somebody, go live with them. But don't equate it to marriage. If you want to treat somebody like it's your child, do that. But don't call them your child because it denigrates women who gave childbirth and had their children. It doesn't denigrate women who can't have children because you're no less a woman or a lady or female simply because you can have children. But what it says is that afterwards, you can't call yourself that. Now, if you want to adopt, beautiful. You can call yourself a mom because you're taking on all the responsibility and all the issues and all the problems that come with motherhood and childbirth. Had to find my phone. So at some point, we have to recognize that there are some things in life that we hold sacrosanct. Now, studies have shown that getting married and then divorcing doesn't lead to a long life. There was a Terman life cycle study that began in 1921 that found that people who get married and then divorce didn't live as long as people who stayed single for life. So I guess the stress of divorce could actually, kill you too. So what am I trying to say? Number one, if you're not legally married, do not call a woman your wife and don't call a man your husband. Have some respect for the institution of marriage. But stop trying to equate it to something that it's not. Oh, it's a partnership. I've been in a partnership for 20 years. That's wonderful. But you're not married. So that means that some things that come with marriage, you don't get. Either get married or don't get married. But don't denigrate marriage by calling your partnership a marriage. Call it a partnership. You get no accoutrements of marriage for it. If you want to have a civil union, sure, but that's local. Knock yourself out. But don't insult people. Number two, I believe marriage is a sacred union between a man and a woman. What the law says regarding same-sex marriage, I respect because I respect the law. I don't have to support it. I don't have to believe it. I have really good friends that are same-sex and married. Okay. My support or dislike is never going to change the law. So when the law says it's okay, it's okay. But make no mistake, one of the reasons why we struggle in the community, one of the reasons why black people have such a difficult time, us, is because we don't respect the things that got us where we are. We always want something new. Oh, it has to change. It's got to grow. Just because it's, the T word, you got to know. We made it as single parent households because we had to. But we also know that wasn't ideal. Studies have shown over and over and over and over that two-parent households, children do better. Even if y'all divorce later, children do better. Life is easier. Life has more meaning. Does that denigrate? No. But what we have to stop doing is disrespecting and dismissing clear statistical data that shows one thing, but because we live a life in another space, we dismiss it as if it's not true or it doesn't work. Change has to happen in the black community in 2025. I'm on this same soapbox every December about what we're going to do in our community to extend life expectancy, to have healthy behaviors, and change the underlying conditions that are destroying our community. And until you look at us, until you do some self-examination, like I try to do, nothing's going to change. And yesterday's call with Brian will be correct. There is no hope. And the reason there's no hope is because there's no change. And if there's no change, then life really does become about one thing. Because in the end, the one thing that will save us is the one thing we reject. It's about the one word: tradition.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. Milwaukee Black Talk.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Historian, storyteller, journalist. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7, Milwaukee PBS explores the work of one of our most respected cultural historians and how his storytelling makes history come alive for us all. Join Milwaukee PBS Channel 10 for this important retrospective documentary. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7 on Channel 10, Milwaukee PBS.
I'm Al Keith, CEO of Milwaukee College Prep. This Giving Tuesday helps shape the future of Milwaukee's youth. At MCP, we believe every child deserves access to a high-quality education, one that unlocks their potential, empowers their dreams, and creates leaders for tomorrow. Your donation supports the tools, resources, and opportunities that make this success possible. Join us in creating brighter futures for Milwaukee's youth by donating today. Visit mkeprep.com/Giving Tuesday to donate.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me make sure I'm reading everything I'm supposed to be reading, because you know stuff is coming up and stuff got to do. Oh. We got big news. I forgot to tell y'all, but tomorrow we got some great information coming out, so y'all make sure y'all lock it in to 1017 The Truth tomorrow. We got some stuff coming up. Yep. We got some stuff coming up. But want to remind you, Truth Nation, that we've teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses. So visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com to sign up today. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. So for official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. 833-212-1017 is the number. I was talking about the tradition of just things in the black community and what we do. Like, marriage. But it just irks me when I hear people talk about, well, I've been in a committed relationship for 20 years. That's your fault. That's you. Knock yourself out. But if I think different, it doesn't make me wrong because I don't agree with what I agree with what you do. No, let me say it like this. Me doing what I do doesn't negate what you do. It's just different. So don't bash me because I don't wholeheartedly open up, oh my God, it's great. Well, it's nice. You've been dating somebody for 20 years. Okay. Well, marriage ends in, okay, so that's what you don't want. You don't want to get a divorce if you want to leave. Like one of the reasons divorce was created is so when people didn't get along and people grew apart or whatever reason, they got divorced. Some people look at it as a sin. Other people look at it as salvation. Who am I to judge? But at some point, you have to respect the decision that somebody makes. But you can't bring marriage down to partnership because you didn't step up to get married. So are you saying it's better? Yes. Statistically, it's proven. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. Partnership or marriage? Because I'm tired of hearing about it. Oh, it's traditional stuff. And later on, we'll be talking about some traditional stuff because people keep talking about, Google is for old folks. Chat GPT is, it's better. And it's really not. It's right up there with citizen journalists. You're not really a journalist. You've never taken a journalism class in your life, and you've never been trained by a person who understands journalism and how to write a news story, who, what, where, when, why, inverted pyramid, all those basic things, and then how to remove your own bias and write a story, or recognize your own bias and write a story. But we don't do that. We don't do that. We want everything to be acceptable, and it's not. It's not. We've smoothed over everything so that there are no real winners in life. Because if somebody else wins, somebody else lost. I actually had a friend of mine tell me this. If somebody at a company makes a lot of money and they win, then somebody lost. If one person makes more money than the other person, then somebody won and somebody lost. And now, if you make more money than somebody else, you're taking money away from them because everybody should make the same money. I said, that's called socialism. Where no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work. You know why police don't work hard? You want to know? You know why firefighters don't work hard? You know why city workers don't work hard? Socialism. They have a union that does not reward working hard. So it doesn't matter how many years you got in as a cop. When you hit year 5, you're at top pay. And it doesn't matter how good of a cop you were, how bad of a cop you were, if you took a rap, if you got time off, if you got suspended, the union allows you to get top pay. That's what the city negotiated. That's what you get. So there's no initiative to write tickets or don't write tickets, to arrest people or don't arrest people, or right? That's up to a supervisor. Same thing with a fire lieutenant and a fire captain. You're going to go to work. You're going to point the hose where they tell you to point it. Move the truck where they tell her to move the truck. And I've never been a firefighter in my life. I don't know. There's no incentive to do better. None. City worker. It don't matter how fast you ask that person to speed up at the desk. If they doing permits or doing something, they're going to move at the speed they want because no matter what, they don't have to move faster. Because if they move faster and see 20 people, they're going to get paid the same amount. If they do move slower and seat 2 people, they're going to get paid the same amount. So there's no real incentive. So really, when you go back to something like getting married, it comes down to merit. There's merit. There are things that are positive for you when you get married. And there are things that are not when you don't. And I get it. We want everything to be equal. I think everything to be positive. I think everything is, no. If I work harder than you and I get an award, I want it. We don't call your award equivalent to my award and then say, you're award winning too. Oh, that's great. You are award winning, but you didn't win that one. That's all. If I didn't win, I've never run a marathon. I ain't never winning a marathon. But I'm not putting one of them stickers on my car, like 26 point whatever and 13 point what. I'm never going to put that on my car. Why? Because I'm not running a marathon. And I'm not going to run a marathon and say, hey, I finished it. I was first. Well, you wasn't first. All you can say is you finished. But I can't call myself an award-winning marathoner. But that's what we do now. We come up with these titles and we call everybody the same thing so that nobody can feel like they're less than. But what about the person that won? What about the person that's in first place? We disregard them. Well, we've decided now we're not going to have a valedictorian. Why? Well, we don't want the other students to feel bad. Why would they feel bad? They did 4 years, worked their tail off, and got a C. Somebody else did 4 years, worked their tail off in high school, and got a 4.0. They should be valedictorian. I don't know how to fix that. Hard work and commitment is what counts. Is there failure in that? Absolutely. We stumble, we fall, and then we get back up, we brush ourselves off, and we keep going. But to start calling everybody the same, to start equating one thing for another because we don't want people to feel bad, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 833-212-1017 is the number. Chauncey said, nice job, Doc, allowing your producer to bump that doggone vintage 1987 Keith Sweat for a full minute off of your last break. That's all y'all care about is music? I feel some kind of way about that.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Adrian Dunn's Wonderful, a soulful celebration, comes to the Bradley Symphony Center for one night only on December 7th. Get your tickets now to experience lots of your favorite seasonal music the gospel way. Emmy Award-nominated composer and conductor Adrian Dunn leads the Adrian Dunn Singers and the Rise Orchestra in a festive mix of soulful arrangements that are sure to fill you with hope and peace. With drums, guitars, tambourines, and and plenty of hallelujahs. This festive concert promises to take the entire audience to church and beyond. Adrian Dunn's Wonderful, a soulful celebration runs December 7th only. For tickets and more information, visit mso.org or call 414-291-7605.
In our community, you will find a Center for Food Security. You'll discover a Center for Behavioral Health Support, a proven Center for Home Care, a successful Center for Employment, a Center for Trauma Recovery, and more. We are Centers for Independence. Find out how you can support Centers for Independence's work and mission at cfihope.org/independence.
After an accident, don't wait to get the help you need. Call Gruber Law Offices first. There is no fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Southbound on 41, backing up still from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Got southbound 43 also very heavy from Locust all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge down towards the KK River. Northbound's just a little bit slow from North Avenue to Locust. Westbound 94 seeing delays from 25th Street all the way to about Hawley Road. The eastbound side is backing up a bit from 76th Street to 35th. And a little bit of a backup on eastbound 894 coming out of the Hale interchange towards Forest Home. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, evening flurries to the north, getting windy, a low of 27. Then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, afternoon snow showers, windy, evening temps then drop pretty quickly, a high of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneim. The 9-3 Green Bay Packers are prepping for their Thursday night clash in Detroit to take on the Lions this week.
It's not like our first hostile environment. Chicago was pretty loud, so I think this is going to be louder. It's going to be a dome stadium, and their fan base is going crazy right now, getting behind the Lions, and it's going to be a fun environment.
Romeo Dobbs and Jair Alexander returning to practice for the second consecutive day on Monday. However, linebacker Edgerrin Cooper remained out due to a hamstring injury. Over to the NBA, where the Bucks could secure their spot in the NBA Cup knockout round with a win tonight over the Pistons in Detroit. Head coach Doc Rivers on his team's mindset when it comes to the NBA Cup.
We want to win that. We put our name on that, and we said that early. I just would like to win it, and get there. So
tip-off tonight between the Bucks and Pistons begins at 6 p.m. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. This afternoon, it's, 33 minutes after the hour. Kind of hanging out, doing what I do. So, click the wrong thing. Let's do this. All right, that's more like it. So, I'm afraid to ask Jason because, he be trying to make me look stupid and stuff because he be, DJ Brother Z in there? Okay, good. I'm going to ask you because, he be hollering at me. He taller than me, so I'll be scared of him. Dude like 4? Yeah, I'm scared of him. He too big. So, ChatGPT or Google?
ChatGPT.
Why?
Because it give me what I need quicker, and it's more detailed. And like I can
really?
Because I can specify. I can ask ChatGPT literally what I'm thinking. Like, I can type word for word my thought process and it will understand me. Google not gonna get it. Like, you gotta type in a formulaic question for Google to really understand.
It's called a prompt.
Well,
and so without a prompt, okay. All right. So you prefer chat?
Like, and that's all relative. Like, that depends on, because it depends on what I'm looking for. Like, if I'm really, like, if I'm doing research or something like that, I can use ChatGPT, but I'll go to Google because I'm gonna look at plenty different articles. Wait, ChatGPT will actually give me a couple articles that I could go to as well. But no, I would choose ChatGPT over Google.
Okay, well, here's some reasons why. Because if you're under 40 years old and you use ChatGPT, you're probably too cheap to use the paid version, right?
I do not pay for ChatGPT.
So the paid version is actually open, where it is getting fed accurate information to give you, right? But if you use the version that's just kind of, hey, it's free and it takes in stuff and it's great. Well, couple issues. Number one, it's inaccurate and it has biased responses. ChatGPT is trained on large amounts of text data from the internet and can lead to inaccurate, biased, or offensive responses. Misinformation. It can be used or misused to spread misinformation or even fake news. There's no emotional intelligence, so the nuances of what you're writing, because you don't use an actual prompt, it'll just give you back what you asked for, right? So if you don't say, create a 100-word essay on why it's important for black men to wear natural hair in 2024, it'll give you that. Whether or not it's accurate, Privacy and security concerns, sharing and storing personal and sensitive information digitally with ChatGPT, you can lose it. Lack of creativity. It can create coherent, grammatically correct responses, but cannot generate creative or innovative content. It can only pull what's out on the internet already, which means it's plagiarism because it's not an authoritative source on information. So whatever's out there, how old is Jason, who lives in Battle Creek, Michigan, and was born in, January 1st, 2006. It'll just randomly pick the first person named that close to Battle Creek. Boop. Okay, is that old? No, they're that old. We don't know. We don't even know if it's the right one, but that's what they got. It can hinder critical thinking. Like you, relying on answers without understanding the material. That's the answer it gave me. What's a good title for such and so when people are talking about this? Brr. Meanwhile, 800 people got the same thing. What? What'd you just say? What'd you say?
Because, that's but I just feel like when you use ChatGPT, you cannot solely rely on that. Like, it's more so like a guideline. Like, it's giving you examples of what could be, but then you got to add your own little creativity, your own razzle dazzle.
No.
That was a bad reply.
I'm taking the whole thing. I'm entering. Look, okay, this is what they talked about hour 1. This is what they talked about hour 2. And this is what they talked about hour 3. Copy, paste, sign, delivered.
But all you're asking it to do is take something that it already has and summarize it. That's okay. That's okay. Give me a description of this entire hour, right, in 3 sentences. And it'll do that because it's working with content that's already there. But if you think you're going to find something new on ChatGPT, that ain't happening. 833-212-1017. Google or ChatGPT. And why? Because you know what you're getting with ChatGPT. Nothing. Whatever garbage is out there, text messages, whatever, it's like Google with no guardrails. You have no idea what's real. You have no idea what's not, but you run with it. Melissa said, I use the paid version. I love the paid version. You can ask the paid version to do certain things and give you very specific ideas and prompts. Now, what we need is a class on ChatGPT prompts. Like when I ask this question, how do I get the answer that I need? And then where do I double check? Because I can ask ChatGPT to give me a list of books that are in, I don't even know if it has access to the Library of Congress. I don't know. A list of books from the New York Times bestseller. Like, I don't know. But at least you can narrow it down and ask it. But then you can, like, how do you cite your sources? And how do you know it didn't make it up? Oh, just call this book. Sounds like this book will be good. The Truth in the Afternoon Chronicles. Okay. And you think it's great, only to find out later that it never even was invented. Because that's what ChatGPT does. When it doesn't have the answer, it makes it up. But it makes it up based on the stuff that's on the internet. So odds are it's going to end up being plagiarism. Or just plain old stolen. And then what do? We are going down a slippery slope of looking at things on the internet and thinking it's legitimate because it's on the internet. And how do we teach young people to find the sources that they need in order to verify that the information they have is correct? So we think research is going to a website and getting information when you should be looking at more studies and peer-reviewed articles to get information that'll then lead you somewhere else that's legitimate. We're doing it the other way around, and then we stop. Well, I found a website that said, but I don't mean it's true. Interesting. I don't mean it's true. That just means it's there. And then what do? I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, I got a question. Do women need more sleep than men? He actually paused to think about it. Do women need more sleep than men? 833-212-1017. Do women need more sleep than men? And not because they drive men crazy and they just need to go somewhere, sit down and go to sleep. Do women need more sleep than men? We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the podcast, Bucks radio host Justin Garcia hops on with Marcus and Chris. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
What are some of the things that we need to really focus on to get our fair share of these opportunities, i.e. access to capital?
You know, it's very important to always think about building a strong business plan, understanding the financial parameters around what you're trying to accomplish, building great networks and great relationships so you can have partnerships in building out your dream. And then finding a good financial partner like Old National to help really orchestrate your vision of the organization. And then, as you know, DT, you wouldn't be where you're at because you're phenomenal, doing great work. And then you have to really have to go to work. If you have that dream, you have that vision, the business plan, the financial piece, then you have to really work at it and keep building.
Learn more about the Old National Bank Small Business Empowerment Loan by visiting oldnational.com/small business or contact a small business banker at Old National Bank.
Historian, storyteller, journalist. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7, Milwaukee PBS explores the work of one of our most respected cultural historians and how his storytelling makes history come alive for us all. Join Milwaukee PBS Channel 10 for this important retrospective documentary. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7 on Channel 10, Milwaukee PBS.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Oh, well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm Al Keith, CEO of Milwaukee College Prep. This Giving Tuesday helps shape the future of Milwaukee's youth. At MCP, we believe every child deserves access to a high-quality education, one that unlocks their potential, empowers their dreams, and creates leaders for tomorrow. Your donation supports the tools, resources, and opportunities that make this success possible. Join us in creating brighter futures for Milwaukee's youth by donating today. Visit mkeprep.com/Giving Tuesday to donate.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, we've been talking about it all day. Today is Giving Tuesday, and we teamed up with Milwaukee College Prep to make a difference for Milwaukee's future. Milwaukee College Prep provides a top-tier K-8 education free of charge to 2,000 children in underserved communities, and 96% of their students go on to graduate from high school, as compared to 65% of their peers from Milwaukee schools. So, with less government funding than traditional public schools, Milwaukee College Prep needs your support to provide critical resources for scholar success. So, give the gift of education right now, this minute, by visiting MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com/giving today to donate. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com/giving to donate. So do it today. 833-212-1017 is the number. Do men or women need more sleep? Like, which one? Like, I don't know.
Women.
Women? You think women need more sleep?
I feel like they got a lot going on in their mind.
I know they can. If y'all want to call and whoop up on him, the line is open. That was a totally sexist comment. Like, what are you even? Turn the microphone on and say that.
I don't see how it's sexist. Women, like, they are brilliant. They got so much. They have a lot on their mind.
Don't try to clean it up now, bruh. Don't try to clean it up now. Don't try to clean it up now. Clearly, women need more. They got more on their mind. What? Wow. He act like I can hear him, and I can't.
No, I was just laughing. I just feel like I don't think nothing wrong with that statement. I don't think that is being sexist. I'm not being disrespectful to them. I love my women. I just feel like they got a lot on their mind.
Wow. And you don't.
I do
You're
have a
just
lot.
strong enough. You're just tough enough to handle it all, but they can't. They got to get extra sleep.
Oh, like, I got a lot. I think they got more on their mind than me.
Why would they have more on their mind than you?
Because I'm strict. Like,
answer my question. Why would a woman have more on her mind than you?
Because, so for example, when I'm sitting here, like the girls I'll be talking to, I'm solution oriented. That's it. I don't care nothing about the problem. I don't care nothing about that. I'm straight to the facts. I don't care about complaining. I don't care about none of that. I'm straight to the solution. And I'm only based off the experience with the girls I talk to. Only based on the experience of girls I talk to.
You mean women?
Women I talk to. They harp on the problem a lot, and it's not a bad thing. It is what it is.
Clearly, you're saying it's a bad thing.
But yeah, they harp on the problem a lot, and they just this sound bad. I keep saying they. Because we all emotional creatures, obviously. We're all emotional creatures. However, the women that I be talking to, they use their emotions take over. As in, it's not more so logic. They don't prioritize logic over emotion or rationality over emotion. They prioritize
Did you just
emotion.
call women irrational?
No, it's not that they irrational.
You said not rational. That means irrational.
No, they just don't prioritize it over emotion. They'd rather feel, and it's perfectly fine. It's feminine essence. They'd rather feel the emotion.
So you came to work today with a shovel of crap, and you are digging one of the biggest holes I've ever seen. 833-212-1017. Somebody want to call and correct him? Please.
I'm only going off of my experience. That's all I can do. I don't know every
narrow experience, but for you to pontificate like that.
No, I said only off the women that I've dealt with. I don't know about general women. I just know off the women I dealt with.
Research has shown that the difference between men and women is rather minimal, as women only need 11 to 13 minutes more of sleep. So I don't know where you got.
They need more. That was my point.
It ain't that. Okay, stop. You made it out to be this big thing. This exaggeration can pressure women to focus on hitting a specific number of hours sleep, potentially at the expense of quality. But I don't know. I don't think yeah. And women are already at twice the risk of having insomnia compared to men. I have never met a woman, this is me in my experience, that had a problem going to sleep.
Me either.
Woo! 5 seconds. Get in the car. 5 seconds. Boom. But then what does that mean? Some people actually believe that, But then I've had some women that say, well, yeah, we are more emotional and we do this and we do that. Chauncey said, yes, women do need more sleep than men by virtue of the fact that the respective body type including but not limited to the critical variable strains and stresses associated with that. Come on, dude. I'm done. The fact that you brought that up, done. I'm done. I'm not reading the rest of that. I would be canceled into oblivion if I read that. Canceled into oblivion. I don't know what that name says. Okay. Male or female? Coley, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Hi, my brother. Coley is short for Cornelius.
Okay.
I don't know the brother you're with.
Jason.
Can you tell me his name?
Jason.
Jason, hello, brother. Let me go from my point of view. I was married. I'm 51. I was married for 6 years. We were together. We've known each other probably 20 years.
Okay.
My ex-wife was one of the most emotional things I ever had in my life. Let me give you one example. My wife currently works at the mental health department at
Don't just tell, because we don't want to identify anybody. But
no, I'm not going to give her a name or anything. Anyway, educated, degree,
right,
everything. Okay.
Now, is this your current wife or your ex-wife?
Family. My ex-wife.
Okay.
My ex-wife. Degree, everything. Anyway, her family, she came from she was the most successful person in her family.
All right.
Every time her family would ask for help, she would just fall apart. Right. Why they always want me? Why they only call me? Why? I said, baby, listen, you are the most successful person in their family. I said, whether you like it or not, they're going to lean on you because of that success.
Yep.
When their family was hurting, they turned to the most successful person in their family.
Right.
But it would kill her. I mean, this son of a gun would literally could not think, would become paralyzed by this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's just one example of what she did. She thought she was so independent that, you know, in a relationship, in a marriage, it's supposed to be a shit. Brother, if I took some money out the account, I had to check T's, dot I's. You know, she tried to dominate the relationship.
Okay.
You know, and this is just an example of my experience.
Okay.
You know, and I don't know if it correlates, but that brother you talking to is 100% right. You know, don't go off no general knowledge. Don't go off. This can't be a brother-sister relationship,
right?
Mother-son relationship. This is a relationship with the woman you lay down with. If you don't think women are emotional, brother, I don't know what to tell you. You gonna live such a mean life. You gonna hate women.
What you mean, me?
You know what I mean? Because no, any man who is not prepared to deal with a woman long term and not go through the ups and downs that she's going through, brother, you will not be with women.
Yep, you'll be alone.
You're gonna be, because brother, they oh, come on, and I mean the toughest of them.
Be nice. Be nice.
The toughest of them can be humble.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you much, Cody.
Right,
I appreciate you, brother. All right. Yep. I can't say he's wrong. But that is why you love women, right? That's why because they are the emotional ones, and they check you when you're trying to be all tough and mean and hold it in, and they help you, externalize your tears and your hurt and your pain and stuff like that. So, we talk. Now, the flip side is women tend to what? They love, what's it, toxic masculinity. Ain't that what you love about us? Being masculine, full of testosterone and doing manly things, manly deeds? Like, really? I've never, ever understood that. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 is coming up in, I would say 5 minutes or 5 seconds, but I can't count that far.
Are you tired of yo-yo dieting? This is Dr. Williams, Chief Scientific Officer at Invite Health, and we hear from people every day struggling to lose weight. We know that our powerful blend of clinically studied nutrients and probiotic HX Weight can help. Probiotic HX Weight is your best tool to target that stubborn belly fat and get the results you've been wanting. In a 12-week study, Bifidobacterium breve B3, a powerful probiotic, along with Bergason FF, a blend of artichoke and bergamot extract, were shown to significantly drop body fat. Order Probiotic HX Weight today and receive a second bottle free. That's right, call now to order Probiotic HX Weight today and get a second bottle free. 800-784-1987. That's 800-784-1987. Call now for Probiotic HX Weight and get a second bottle free. Includes free shipping and a bonus bottle of vitamin C. Call now, 800-784-1987. That's 800-784-1987.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/thereason to get started.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I was just talking about numbers and how, the race with Trump and Madam Vice President Kamala Harris and how the numbers and so the numbers that people are putting out are the numbers that people want you to see. Look, Hispanic voters are voting more. Look, but they keep missing, and the Democratic Party keeps avoiding the fact that black males did not vote for her. And they're coming up with these reasons of just dismissing those numbers. They're like excluding those numbers. Oh, well, this is the reason why. There is absolutely no way Donald Trump could have won without the black vote. Even with the increase of Hispanics. So when you're already giving them 14% and you give them 16 or 20%, that's significant. That is significant. Those are those precincts where you get the few numbers where he's winning by a couple thousand votes. Things like that people are dismissing. And you can't fix it until what? Till you acknowledge the fact of why you lost. You're blaming misogyny, you're blaming system, you're blaming all the things that were never a problem. So I just find that interesting. that when all the numbers, like I'm not shocked at the Hispanic, like when you show me the south side of Milwaukee and the Hispanic vote. Well, they live on the south side. So, of course, there's going to be a bigger number. Show me the black votes. Because Trump didn't win Milwaukee County, but he won enough that the state went that way. And black people in Wisconsin voted for him. I'm just saying. And when we talk about, oh, it's 2%. Well, no, it's 2% of what he had last time. That increased 2%. Across the country, that made all the difference in the world. Interesting. Now, let me tell you now, top 5 at 5 today is going to be a little depressing. I'm just saying.
Number 5.
From WISN 12, a woman was found fatally shot in a garbage can yesterday morning. The victim was found at 10:40 a.m. Near 38th and Lloyd in an alley outside Bethany Lutheran Church. Police have not made any arrests, and it's unclear how long the body had been there. So police blocked off the alley for several hours during the investigation, and after removing the woman's body out of the garbage cart, they took the garbage cart away as evidence. Medical examiner said today that the victim was identified as 40-year-old Milwaukee woman. They're withholding her name till they can notify her relatives. If you have any information, contact Milwaukee Police at 414-935-7360. If you want to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS. So, interesting. As if it couldn't get any better.
Number 4.
This from WISN Channel 12. Medical examiner report identified a woman killed in her apartment in a shooting the day after Thanksgiving as 24-year-old Vanessa King. She was a mother to a 1-year-old. Vanessa was a very sweet, smart, intelligent young woman. She's very soft-spoken, said King's godmother, Leah Davis. When you speak to her or approach her, she has this infectious smile that instantly greets you. Davis said King was on her way to work Friday near 7th and Galena, where she works as an in-home nurse when the incident happened. There was some type of interaction. I don't know how the interaction was, but based on what I'm hearing, she didn't get an opportunity to clock in to work that day, Davis said. According to the medical examiner's report, King was found shot in a stranger's apartment. Police said the 21-year-old suspect shooter later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators have yet shared the suspect's identity or what led up to the shooting. However, Davis said King didn't know the suspect. This is like some complete random act of violence, Davis said. It only screams a couple things to me. Evil, and I don't necessarily like to call people crazy, but that's the way that it seems. Crazy. And I relate that to mental health issues. Following the tragedy, Davis is encouraging families and communities to have conversations about mental health. While their family still has many unanswered questions, Davis said her faith in God and leaning on each other are helping them stay strong together. So, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the family.
Number 3.
This from Fox6Now.com. A 31-year-old man has been criminally charged in connection to a homicide that occurred Saturday, November 23rd. The victim was found dead in an alley on the south side of Milwaukee. The accused, Joshua Santos, is charged with 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide. According to the criminal complaint, Milwaukee police were dispatched to the area of 8th and Beecher around 7:30 a.m. for reports of a subject down in the alley. The 911 caller indicated that there was a woman lying in the alley and that it looked like she'd been dumped there, the complaint says. Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office determined the cause of death as probable asphyxiation due to strangulation per the complaint. They recovered security footage from the alley that captured a light green or light gray sedan believed to be a Lexus ES sedan. Officials were able to track down the vehicle using a license plate reader database when authorities arrived at the listed address. They located the 2003 Lexus ES sedan parked outside. Per the complaint, the owner of the vehicle told detectives that on November 22nd, she let a friend of hers known as Josh Santos use the car. She stated that Santos dropped her off at work at 2 p.m. on the 22nd, picked her up again in her Lexus on the same day at about 11 p.m. She claims she exited work on November 22nd, went to her vehicle. Santos was in the back seat with another person she believed to be female. The vehicle owner indicated that the female was covered by a blanket and that she thought a strong odor was coming from the back seat. Santos allegedly told her someone had thrown up in the back seat. Owner of the Lexus says investigators, she did not see the person under the blanket move or get out of the vehicle at any time. Owner of the Lexus stated they eventually drove to her residence, remained there until 4 or 5 a.m. on November 23rd, and she stated that when they arrived at her house, the female was still in the back of the car covered with a blanket, and that she remained in the car underneath the blanket the whole time they were at the residence. She told investigators she thought the female was just drunk. The owner of the Lexus claims that between 4 and 5 a.m. on November 23rd, Santos stated to her, "Let's get ready to go." The woman stated she got up, and they both re-entered the Lexus, and once inside the vehicle, the woman claimed she reached back and touched the female and found her to be still, hard to the touch, and cold. The woman stated she began to drive and followed Santos' directions, going in and out of numerous alleys on the south side of Milwaukee. And then she stated that while they were in one of the alleys, Santos climbed through the car to the back seat, ordered her to stop. Santos opened the door to the vehicle and physically pushed the female out of the car and into the alley. According to the complaint, the vehicle owner told detectives she and Santos then went to a Dollar Tree where she bought spick and span cleaner and towels, and stated that she and Santos spent 15 to 20 minutes cleaning the feces and blood out of the car. She stated that Santos did not tell her much about the female and that all he told me was, "Sorry," the complaint says. What is that? That as a human being, you would do that. That's just downright, I don't know, sick.
Number 2.
From CBS 58, 59-year-old was struck and killed by a car last night. Investigation is underway after a driver fatally struck a pedestrian crossing the street near 92nd and Silver Spring last night. Milwaukee police say it happened around 7:18 p.m. 27-year-old traveling west on Silver Spring collided with a 59-year-old pedestrian crossing the street southbound. The victim, identified by the medical at the scene, and the driver of the striking vehicle remained on site. And so that's got to be, on the northwest side, the 4th, 5th, or 6th person that's been struck by a vehicle in the city of Milwaukee. Kind of makes you want to not walk in the city. Okay, so let me get it right. You don't want to walk in the city. You don't want to drive in the city. You don't want to. Pretty soon, you're not going to want to live in the city.
Number 1.
So we talked about this story. You remember this story from yesterday. I think DJ Brother Z was here. Former Kansas City, Kansas detective Robert Golubsky. Remember we talked about him? He was going to trial because this knucklehead had raped women over the last 20 some odd years. Well, Roger Golubsky was found dead in his home of an apparent suicide on the day his trial was supposed to begin. That's what Associated Press reported. Police found him on the back porch of his home in Kansas City yesterday after a neighbor heard a gunshot. While local authorities were investigating the 71-year-old's death, prosecutors and Golubsky's attorneys were preparing for day one of his trial, where the ex-detective was facing 6 felony counts of violating women's civil rights. That's in federal court. Prosecutors allege he sexually assaulted black women and girls for decades and terrorized those who tried to fight back. He pleaded not guilty, but was accused of preying on female residents in poor neighborhoods and demanding sexual favors. In some instances, victims claimed he threatened to harm them or place their loved ones in jail if he didn't get what he wanted. So, as usual, when it comes time to man up, he was a punk.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Historian, storyteller, journalist. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7, Milwaukee PBS explores the work of one of our most respected cultural historians and how his storytelling makes history come alive for us all. Join Milwaukee PBS Channel 10 for this important retrospective documentary. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7 on Channel 10, Milwaukee PBS.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
I'm Al Keith, CEO of Milwaukee College Prep. This Giving Tuesday helps shape the future of Milwaukee's youth. At MCP, we believe every child deserves access to a high-quality education, one that unlocks their potential, empowers their dreams, and creates leaders for tomorrow. Your donation supports the tools, resources, and opportunities that make this success possible. Join us in creating brighter futures for Milwaukee's youth by donating today. Visit mkeprep.com/Giving Tuesday to donate.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. We're still waiting. The jurors are deliberating in New York for Perry Daniels. Or is it Daniel Perry? I think it's Daniel Perry, the guy that's on trial for killing and choking the guy out on the subway. So... dude should, let me keep my mouth shut. It's the justice system. I hope it works. There was no reason for him to grab the guy, no reason to put him in a bear hug. He was threatening people, but did he do anything? Did he take a step toward them? So he was just screaming and hollering. Well, yeah. Didn't have a weapon until you grabbed him and you thought you'd hold him. But then people keep, he's an ex-Marine. So if he was a Marine, he should have carried himself with a little more compartment. Like he should have thought about what he was going to do because he's trained to kill people. And that's all he knows how to do. Clearly, because he killed somebody. So to find him not guilty would be a travesty to the life of a man with mental health. And this is a citizen that had no business grabbing the guy in the first place. Now, if he was a cop, you'd have wanted to lock him up and string him up. Because you're a citizen, being a Marine doesn't mitigate the fact that you kill somebody. And what does that have to do with you killing a person on an L train with mental illness? Just because you felt scared, if he didn't do anything to you, come toward you, tell you, and then start moving towards you to kill you or hurt you, what are you doing? You grabbed him from behind and put him in a chokehold and killed him. Idiotic move. So they're waiting. Also, I don't know if you heard, South Korea's in turmoil. The president declared martial law because he felt that his detractors in the government were coming after him and supporting North Korea. And then the parliament, I think they have a parliament, the government, the elected officials came in and overrode his martial law and crushed it. So, all heck is breaking loose in South Korea. One of the places I actually wanted to visit. I watch a lot of K. Do you watch K movies and K? Like Korean movies and Korean stuff like that. So, anyway, I like it. I was on Fox 6, and I started to notice a pattern, and so it was kind of odd because it makes me wonder when I drive through the city and drive through suburbs, daycare. Like daycares are licensed. People have to have training from the state of Wisconsin. Kewaskum Daycare was actually closed. A Campbellsport mother and daughter made their initial court appearances yesterday regarding alleged abuse at a Kewaskum daycare center. This ain't even suburb. Is up there, out in the country. 43-year-old Crystal Hafman and her daughter, 20-year-old Olivia M. Hafman, are accused in a child abuse case at Forever Friends Learning Center. Olivia Hafman faces one count of misdemeanor battery, and her mother faces one count of failure to report child abuse or neglect. They both pleaded not guilty in court yesterday. Crystal Hafman owns Forever Friends Learning Center, and her daughter was employed there as a child care provider. Per the complaint, an employee and witnesses say she observed Olivia behave inappropriately and aggressively toward the children in their care in May of this year. The witness says she noticed a mark on the 2-year-old's stomach that was being cared for at the facility. She asked the victim what caused the mark, and the child said, "Miss Olivia pushed me." The witness said that Olivia Hafman forcibly sat the child into her chair, pushed the chair toward the table, and kicked it, causing the child's stomach to strike the table. She said she took the child to Crystal Hafman's office to discuss the incident, but said Crystal replied that the mark was a rash, and that was there prior to the incident. Another employee and witness noted Olivia had pushed the child into the table, causing the mark, and per the complaint, the victim was holding her left hip and saying, "Owie." Second witness said Olivia was rude to children and aggressive while handing out food. The mother of the child reached out to Crystal Hafman regarding the mark that evening, and the mother would then contact Crystal about what happened to her daughter via a Facebook message, and the conversation was saved by the mother, and they actually put it below. Interesting. So then she typed it out, and of course, that's not what happened. The mother had a nurse practitioner look at the bruise in a photo. Nurse practitioner said the bruise could not have been received simply by the force of another child in that age group, and that would require a great deal of force to cause the injury. So, and of course, the center abruptly closed due to a criminal investigation back in July. And here's my problem. Judge set bond for $1,000 for Crystal Hafman and $10,000 for Olivia Hafman. You know they was out of court, like they was out of jail like the same day. Let that happen in Milwaukee County. Right. But then there's Fox Point. Don't have to go that far north. Just up I-43. 2 employees at a Fox Point daycare center were fired after a child was injured, and one of those workers has been arrested. In Fox Point, Nurturing Nook is just that, a daycare in the back corner of a shopping center. It's now at the center of a police investigation. Fox 6 Now and Fox 6 News obtained 5 letters the daycare sent to parents explaining that the 2 employees were fired after what they call improperly handling of children. The first letter, dated November 13th, said a child was injured while at the daycare, which prompted an investigation on the 14th. The daycare informed families it is reviewing footage. The 21st confirmed 2 teachers were fired for improper handling of children. Nurturing Nook self-reported to the state, and on the 25th, families were notified of ways the daycare ensures a safe classroom. On the 27th, they explained details about what happened. So the investigation started November 8th when a concerned parent notified them. Fox Point Police Department says 1 person was arrested, no charges filed yet. Of course not. Y'all be taking y'all sweet time. People can get their defense together, do all that stuff. We get charged, we in court the next day. Bam! $10 billion fine. $10 billion bail. What? Nurturing Nook told parents the incident was isolated to a single classroom and implemented additional training and monitoring of the classrooms. And of course, they made a statement to Fox 6. The investigation is ongoing. But I found it interesting that we've got 2 daycares in basically suburbs that are doing these types of things. Isn't this something that you would think that they report always happens in the city of Milwaukee, but yet here we are, and it's happening here in suburbs. So where are children safe? I can dare say I put my kids in a daycare. Well, no, I put my oldest in a daycare, my youngest, and we watched them like a hawk. Like a hawk. I mean, to the point where I would pick my daughter up in uniform. When I dropped her off in the morning, I would drop her off in uniform on purpose so people could see he's a police officer. Don't mess with my kid. Now, it was a nice daycare. I watched it like a hawk. I watched the kids, the parents, the people. You know, I was very specific. I don't think I only complained maybe once or twice when something wasn't right. But for the most part, nope. And they were one of those, you know, if you're 5 minutes late, you got to fine and you got to pay this fee. But they were good. I'd never had a problem. Now, one of the schools my daughter went to, my daughter told me at age 5, I don't want to go back to that school. I don't like that school. I was like, what? She said, I don't like it. I don't like how they treat me. I said, well, how do they treat you? Nobody plays with me. Some of the other kids tell the other kids don't play with me. And only 1 or 2 kids play with me throughout the whole day. She was gone that January. Bye. Because when a 5-year-old can tell you, So kids know. Kids are very smart. They're very resilient. And they'll tell you the truth. So when that kid at that daycare said, Miss Olivia made a owie, yeah. They have no reason to lie. They don't even know how. And so now they'll but I want to see what they get. I want to see what they get. then it should be felonies. They're children. You harm a kid, it should automatically be a felony. This misdemeanor crap. But then I had to remember where they were, right? They're in one of those other counties where where minority people just don't live. So they get to do what they want. But I'm going to track it, and we're going to see. We are going to see what happens. Because we've had the same thing happen in daycares in Milwaukee, and I want to see what happens to daycares in the suburbs. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Traffic, sports, weather, all that stuff up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Take the stress out of the holiday season with the Milwaukee Bucks. Get all your shopping done with Bucks deal season offers, featuring great gifts and limited time packages that even Scrooge will love. Score deals for everyone on your list, including yourself, from the Milwaukee Bucks and Pfizer Forum. 'Tis the season for cheer with your favorite deer. After all, there's no place like Pfizer Forum for the holidays. Shop the offers today at bucks.com/deal season.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
I want to stress the importance of a positive mindset. Everything begins as a thought before it ever becomes an action. So it's extremely important to purposely place yourself in positive spaces to help shape and nurture those thoughts. I know you're probably thinking, okay, Telly, let's be realistic. Look, I get it. You may work with people with bad energy, or you may even be related to people who are negative by nature. In this journey called life, there will be many things that come your way that's out of your control. But what you can control is how you respond. Understand this. You have the right to either tap in or tap out of whatever energy that may come your way. And that's how you can control and protect your positive spaces. The mind is where it all starts. And if your thoughts are centered around positivity, you'll see how things begin to transform. You'll see a noticeable difference between things happening for you versus things always happening to you. You begin to grow through situations as opposed to just going through tough situations. Make it a priority to surround yourself with positive people and create those positive spaces and begin to experience the fruits of what a positive mindset can produce. Trust me, it takes work to creating these spaces, and you have to be intentional about it. And I'm committed to putting in the work because I'm living proof that it's well worth the peace a positive mindset brings.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to Truth Be Told with Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
We have a new accident now. This is on 894 westbound at Loomis. The 3 right lanes are closed because of this crash. That's backing things up back through the Mitchell interchange and onto 94 northbound. We've got some delays on the bypass on the southbound side as well, from Greenfield Avenue all the way down to Lincoln, and then back on the brakes from Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange to Forest Home. Eastbound 94 heavy from Highway F all the way through the Barker Road area to Brookfield Road. Back on the brakes from 92nd Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. We do have an accident at 84th Street as well on the left shoulder. Southbound 43, a hefty ride from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette down to the KK River. Northbound is backed up through the Marquette up towards Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, evening flurries to the north, getting windy, a low of 27. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, afternoon snow showers, windy, evening temperatures drop quickly, a high of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneim. The 9-3 Green Bay Packers are prepping for their Thursday night clash in Detroit to take on the Lions this week.
It's not like our first hostile environment. Chicago was pretty loud, so I think this is going to be louder. It's going to be a dome stadium, and their fan base is going crazy right now, getting behind the Lions, and it's going to be a fun environment.
Romeo Doubs and Jair Alexander returning to practice for the second consecutive day on Monday. However, linebacker Edgerrin Cooper remained out due to a hamstring injury. Over to the NBA, where the Bucks could secure their spot in the NBA Cup knockout round with a win tonight over the Pistons in Detroit. Head coach Doc Rivers on his team's mindset when it comes to the NBA Cup.
We want to win that. We put our name on that, and we said that early. I just would like to win it, and get there. So
tip-off tonight between the Bucks and Pistons begins at 6 p.m. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I'm looking at a story about copyright infringement, right? So everybody always says, I want to work for the UW system. I think the UW system is a great place to work, right? They pay well. I can do this. I can do that. Kelly Meyerhofer has a story that was updated 2 o'clock, 2:30, 2:27 this afternoon about education on JS Online, that UW professors fear proposed copyright policy would lead to massive seizing of their work. Well, let me explain. University of Wisconsin faculty operated under a simple guarantee. They're state employees, but they own and control the product of their work, syllabi, assignments, other course materials. This understanding could be upended. The UW system is proposing a new copyright policy that professors say would eliminate faculty ownership of instructional materials. The revisions are stoking alarm amongst professors statewide who say such a move would cheapen higher education into a mass-produced commodity. Professors from 9 of the 13 UW campuses wrote in a letter to UW System President Jay Rothman, this policy change is nothing less than a drastic redefinition of the employment contract, one that represents a massive seizing of our intellectual property on a grand scale. It would allow any UW campus to fire any employee and nonetheless continue teaching their course in perpetuity with no obligation to continue paying the employee for their work. UW System spokesperson Mark Pish declined to say whether such a scenario would be allowed under the new policy. He said UW System's approach to copyright transfer would remain the same, but under the new policy, but provide clearer, more specific, and accurate guidance that matches U.S. copyright law. It would also extend copyright transfer, you ready, to academic staff and students, both who are not included in the current policy. So a comment period on the policy proposal was initially slated to close in mid-November. The additional feedback, Pish said, the UW system extended it through December 13th. So the current copyright policy dates back to 1997. An update is sorely needed, and efforts date back at least 14 years, UW system explained on a website. The policy states UW system does not assert a property interest in materials produced by an employee for teaching and research activities. That's normal in most universities. It says it can only assert a right through a specific agreement with the employee. Draft of the new policy obtained by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel would eliminate existing copyright language and replace it with the insertion that UW system holds ownership of both institutional work and scholarly work. The policy considers course syllabi institutional work that belongs to the UW system, not the person who wrote it. Examples of how this might be used include assigning another instructor to teach a course developed by someone else when necessary, and providing course materials to accreditors according to the policy website. That's not unreasonable. Scholarly work includes most of what professors produce: lecture notes, course materials, journal articles, and books. That's a problem for me. UW system transfers copyright ownership to the author, as is customary in higher education, but notes that it reserves the right to use the work for purposes consistent with its educational mission and academic norms. What if they decide they want to sell the book themselves? Then what? UW system said the policy website, on their policy website, that this is not intended to diminish employee rights. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. Would you even teach at the UW system knowing that everything that you do, you don't own? Natalia Taft, a UW Parkside Associate Professor of Biological Sciences, says it's a power grab because the policy is written, even if it's not their intent, would allow the system to take any material we post on Canvas, for example, use it in perpetuity without our knowledge or consent, and we can't do anything about it. Canvas is an online learning platform that's used to post assignments and reading and other stuff. If the new policy takes effect, professors in their letter to Rothman warned the repercussions may include faculty withholding lecture notes, opting to use non-university platforms, and declining to teach online classes. Faculty recruitment and retention would also suffer, Taft added. Academics have made a deal with ourselves. We're giving up higher paying positions for scholarly life and control over intellectual property. It's a trade-off. People in corporate entities don't have those freedoms, but they're compensated better. We chose a path because our work is part of our identity. UW Eau Claire professor Peter Hart Brinson, who teaches sociology and communication journalism departments, admits the debate over who is considered the author of a PowerPoint presentation sounds small and unimportant, but he says the new policy implies that one English 101 class is no different from another, and a course could just exist on its own without the person who created it. But that's not really how teaching works, he said. Every course is the product of the person who created it, and their unique expertise and background shape how it's taught. As a course progresses, the student-teacher relationship develops in different ways depending on the class's experience and insights. Hart Brinson said the fight over copyright and intellectual property is really a fight to retain the student-teacher relationship in all its depths. Under the new policy, teaching would sort of lose its meaning. It would take the soul out of higher education. And so no matter what you do, no matter what you write, no matter what you give, they own it. So then the question, why would you teach if everything that you do, you couldn't own? I mean, you come up with some fire research, and they could just walk in and take it and be like, hey, it's ours now. You work for UW. Boop, it's ours. And what do? Like, who you complain to? The state? They're the state. This stuff is gone. You know, I got a list of places that I would really love to work. Now I got a list of where I don't want to work.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Tuesday, December 3rd is Giving Tuesday, and The Truth is teaming up with Milwaukee College Prep to make a difference for Milwaukee's future. For nearly 3 decades, Milwaukee College Prep has been redefining what's possible in urban education. MCP provides a top-tier K-8 education free of charge to 2,000 children in underserved communities. With less government funding than traditional public schools, MCP needs your support to provide critical resources for scholar success. Join us in giving the gift of education on Tuesday, December 3rd for Giving Tuesday. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives. All of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be two individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Historian, storyteller, journalist. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7, Milwaukee PBS explores the work of one of our most respected cultural historians and how his storytelling makes history come alive for us all. Join Milwaukee PBS Channel 10 for this important retrospective documentary. Henry Louis Gates Jr., Fabric of America. Tonight at 7 on Channel 10, Milwaukee PBS.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has 13 Milwaukee area branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017. It's been a pretty quiet day, you know. Wayne said, Dr. Ken, if you work in corporate America, there's always been the case. If you develop a pattern while working for a company, then that belongs to the company, not the inventor. There is some similarity. Well, actually, there isn't. So in higher education, what happens is that when you come up with intellectual property, you own it. One of the reasons why is that you don't get paid. Like if you work in somewhere where, like I have a friend of mine who works in a certain thing, they get paid literally $250,000 a year. That's their pay to go work, 8 hours a day, 10, 12 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. $250,000. Well, if they do something or create a technique and all that, the company owns it. Like you sign that when you go in. Hey, you create something, it's ours. We can talk about sharing, some type of ownership, but for the most part, it's ours. Copyright, patent, whatever. Now, if you negotiate that going into your company because that's what you do, then that's okay. That means that you get to keep it, or you share it, or however you work that out. In higher education, it's known. You create it, it's yours. You own it. You can use it somewhere else. You can use it here. Even though we may pay you to create it or do it, in many cases, it's kind of a dual thing, right? Somebody else can teach it. somebody else can use the syllabus, or you can use the syllabus. Like, it's kind of one of those things, right? Because you don't get paid a lot of money. Some people in higher ed get paid a lot of money, a ridiculous amount of money, right, for what they do. Other people don't. So it's like when you reach a certain level in higher education, the income is ridiculous. It's like, are you serious? You actually get paid that much? I'm not mad. Do you? But in the end, because you get paid significantly less, you own your intellectual rights and your intellectual property to your creation. So if I write an article, if I do research, I get to publish it. I get to put in a book. I get to get paid by somebody else to create a book, and I own it. It's mine. Even though I did it at the university and I got a grant through the university, right? I might have got a grant. You own that. You get to say, hey, I wrote this, and putting it out there. People may want to buy it. People may want to read it. UW system says, can't do that. We own it. It's ours. And so the beautiful thing about it is you just need to say, if you got a contract, this needs to be in the contract. And every single person, and no, I'm not giving legal advice. I'm just giving my opinion. What I would do is have it put in the contract. Nope, contract is this. Like, people don't understand. They can change things. They can go, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm doing that. I got a form the other day. Somebody said, hey, we need access to this, and you got to give us this. And then they put in typed letters, and we get access for a year. Scratch that crap out, initialed it, and made it like 30 days. It's all you get, player. What are you talking about? But those are the types of things that we don't know and we don't understand that we can do, that we have power. Right? That's why hiring an attorney is so important when you're doing things that you've never done before. They're the experts. They got the insurance. If it go bad, they got to fix it. But at least you got some expert advice. This just tells me if this policy is in place, I just wouldn't go work for them. I'd be like, nah, that's great. Work at a university that respects your work, respects your experience, and respects you. And that's why I teach at Concordia University, because when the chips are down, as a person, they respect you. You could agree, disagree, want something, like something, disagree with that, all that, but in the end, they respect you and your experience. And in many cases, you're not going to get that same experience that people have, right? Like many times in schools of education, you're not going to get people who have experience educating children. Fortunately, at a school like Concordia, and this isn't a commercial, it's just one of the reasons I went there. The people that are teaching you do what they teach. Big difference. I don't have a professor teaching me nursing. I have a nurse, and the professor works part-time so that they can remain a nurse. So they're teaching me in real time. I did it this morning at 10 o'clock, and I'm teaching you tonight at 6 o'clock. That's a whole different thing than, oh, yeah, I went to nursing school, and I got a PhD, and that was years ago, and I'm just teaching, basically, teaching. And I keep my nursing license, but, I just, Same thing with physical therapy, same thing with pharmacy, right? Same stuff. Business, justice and public policy, all that. So education is important. Education is important. And it's not the same as the corporate world. Corporate world, you're going to make a lot of money. You're just not going to own anything. Whereas in education, it's yours. Unless you work for UW. Then it's different. Then it's like, it's like dealing with a child. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, you made it? Yeah, it's mine. They just come in and take it. like a bratty kid. And then they make it, and it's theirs. Can I use it? Nope. And I'm taking yours, too. And if you think about creating it, or if you do research and do it, we're taking that, too. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. Make sure y'all head to Milwaukee College Prep.com/giving so that y'all can give. Today is Giving Tuesday. Show them some love. Show some support. Hey, Jason, thank you. DJ Brother C, what's up? Appreciate y'all. They be harassing me all the time. I'm gonna take care of them after this show. Maybe tomorrow. Hey, God bless. Take care. I'm out.